My name is Nassim Sabs.
Let me ask you a question. Has anything ever happened to you that you couldn't explain? That made you feel sort of foolish when you tried to tell somebody about it? Well, if it has, you have plenty of company, as you'll soon see.
Lucifer has always been clear on his ultimate goal. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. The Tower of Babel, the story on how the different languages of the earth came to be. Nimrod, a Luciferian gigantic king, built the tower to reach up upon heaven, to reach the firmament and be like the Most High. God saw what they were doing and broke the tower and scattered all people over the earth and divided them by different languages so they may not attempt this again. The broken Tower of Babel, the European Union Parliament building, in direct opposition to what God said not to do, unite all nations. The EU, a branch of the United Nations. Our minds programmed and manipulated by the media to think this could ever be a good thing. Union of all, a utopian lie to advance the Illuminati satanic agenda of a one world government. Their new world order, Novus Ordo Seclorum, the uniting of nations under one government, under one world currency, one world military, one world religion. It doesn't matter if you cannot move beyond your programming to conceive this as a real possibility. It doesn't matter if you believe in it. What matters is that they do believe in it, and they rule and own you. Stranger than fiction, a paradox. The deeper down the rabbit hole, the more upside down everything becomes. And yet it all starts to make sense. Do you understand the enormity of their lies? The human slaves of Earth, being fooled into thinking they are a random product of coincidence on a lonely rock. Learning this at such a young age and never giving it another thought. Fed to the brim with Hollywood fantasy movies, so the actual world lost its colour. Their spirituality denied, the truth of good and evil denied, any chance of living a life of righteousness replaced with the satanic worship of materialism and debased Darwinism, and all the while their masters, the cult leaders, are desperately trying to bridge realms and ascend from this plane to the Most High. What will it take to wake humanity? While they are sleeping, this is happening. The tower is being rebuilt, and the little freedom we had to begin with is vanishing. The dawn of their new world order is coming.
During the 1930s and 1940s, the OTO Lodge in California was headed by a brilliant young rocket designer called Jack Parsons. Jack Parsons developed patented rocket technology, which is still in use by NASA to this day. NASA named a crater on the dark side of the moon in honor of Jack Parsons. Jack Parsons worked during the day to develop rocket propulsion systems which would serve NASA's space program, which was controlled by ex-Nazi SS officers such as Werner von Braun, who had been brought to the USA by the CIA's Project Paperclip. At night, Jack Parsons would hold sex magic rituals in his house in Pasadena and initiate fellow scientists at the Los Alamos Atomic Bomb Laboratory. Jack Parsons was fully aware of what his rocket designs would eventually be used for. Not far from Jack Parsons' rocket lab in Pasadena, Robert Oppenheimer was building the world's first atom bomb, which would be exploded at Los Alamos near a place called the Road of Death, which lies on the 33rd degree parallel. Once installed as the head of the OTO's American operation, Jack Parsons conducted a giant satanic ritual aided by a fellow OTO member with the codename Freighter H. In 1948, the same year that George Bush Sr. was baptized as Magog, Jack Parsons undertook one of the most dark rituals known to Kabbalists, the Babylon working. This ritual requires the initiate to visualize the Kabbalistic tree of life, with its 10 spheres and 22 connecting pathways. Between the top 3 spheres and the lower 7 spheres, there is the so-called abyss, the place where one's personality, possibly even one's sanity, is potentially destroyed. If the initiate successfully spans the abyss with personality intact, then he becomes a black brother of the Kabbalah, a black magician of the so-called left-hand path. In the tradition of Judaic mysticism, these black magicians are utter evil and are in themselves pestilence. This giant Babylon working ritual saw Parsons, aided by his magical protege, Freighter H, project their astral bodies into the dark abyss of Lucifer. 1948 saw George Bush Sr. baptized in the name of Magog, the spirit who would lead the army of demons against Christ at the apocalypse of Armageddon. That same year, Jack Parsons baptized himself as Belerion Armilas al-Dajjal, the Antichrist. Parsons took on the ancient Judaic teaching that Christ and his church were the enemy of civilization, and that they had to be destroyed. On a 40-day pilgrimage in the Mojave Desert, the place where Area 51 now resides, Parsons summoned forth Babylon, the Scarlet Woman, the whore of the apocalypse, the consort of the great beast Satan 666. According to the mysterious Freighter H, during the ritual he saw Parsons rip a hole in space-time, and something evil flew in.